Today we're going to make a period correct 1940s, late 1940s tuna noodle casserole and see, is it delicious? To get started, we're obviously going to need tuna. I'm going to use Cento tuna. It's a little better quality. It's in olive oil also instead of water, but you could use your Bumblebee, Starkist, and water, whatever you'd like. Egg noodles. I've seen every recipe uses egg noodles. No one really uses anything else. I'm going to use a cream of mushroom soup. I'm going to add a little chicken cream soup in there as well. I've seen people mix these. You don't need to. Traditionally, it looks like cream of mushroom is what everybody used. And then we're going to top it with Ritz crackers. I just pre-crushed these in the bag so I can make them like breadcrumbs. But people use breadcrumbs, potato chips, a variety of things. And then frozen peas. I have those left over, which is great. So every recipe has peas. I don't know why. And then we're just going to cook it in a greased baking dish. To get this started, though, a little history about this dish. A lot of European recipes like Noodle Kugel and all those things came over in the late 1800s, and then the tuna recipe in the 30s, 20s, 40s really became a big casserole. So I know it is still made by a lot of people, but it really hit its stride in the late 40s and early 50s. So we're going to give this a try. We're going to cook those egg noodles. Going to cook these for 6 minutes. The bag says 8 to 10. We want to cook these a little under because they're going to absorb a lot of the liquid as they bake in the oven. So cook those for about half the time, maybe a minute or two longer. While that's going on, I'm going to drain the oil out of the tuna. If you want to leave it in, I don't see an issue with that. I think it has a little fishy taste, the oil, the water. Definitely get rid of the tuna water if you use that kind of stuff. Some smaller pieces are going to come out. That's totally fine, but you're going to be left with just a drier tuna, which will mix into your pasta a little bit easier, and you're replacing that creaminess with the soup. But a lot of oil came out there, as you can see. Once that pasta reaches that 6-minute mark, we're going to drain it. You don't need to save any pasta water for this. And now we're going to mix this all in a large vessel that can fit everything. Don't use something too small because it will get messy. I'm going to start by using half a can of each soup base, mix that all together and see where we stand. I don't want to get this overly gloopy. We're going to add also in 3/4 of a cup of milk, add in those peas, and then we're just going to mix everything else in slowly and start to get a good feeling for if this is too thick, too loose. Get those tuna cans in, and once you do that, start to give this a little bit of a mix. You'll see immediately if it needs to be thinner or thicker. I'm going to, over the course of mixing, add in the full rest of the cream of mushroom soup and about 1 more spoonful of the chicken soup. We're also going to add in a little bit of cheese at this stage. That's what I'm going to use for the saltiness. You don't need to do this. A lot of current day recipes add a ton of cheese like cheddar and make this more of like a real pasta dish. We're not doing that. We're going old school. I'm just going to add a little black pepper in as well. So this is more of a traditional. We're going to add in 1 more splash of milk just to get this a little bit looser so there's liquid for the pasta to absorb. Once you get it to a consistency you like, I'm going to grease the baking dish with butter. This is the easiest way to do it. You could use spray oils if you want, but butter is the easiest way to get it in there. And then just pour in that pasta mix. You can see everything is evenly distributed. That's what you're looking for. And just kind of pat it down so it sits evenly. Scrape out the rest of that creaminess that's left over in your mixing dish. And now we're just going to top this with the breadcrumbs. Get it as evenly coated as you want. I just pour them into a bowl to make it easier, but 1 full half sleeve should really cover this. You don't want to get too thick. Once you do that, though, I'm also going to add in a little bit of cheese here on the top, just so there's little bits that can brown. This is where the saltiness is going to come from. And now I'm going to throw this into my oven at 375 degrees for somewhere between 25 and 35 minutes. Here we are right after about 30 to 35 minutes. You can see beautiful golden brown on the top. That's exactly what I'm looking for. There's a little bit of bubbling around the sides of the liquid. That means everything is good and up to temperature. And now we're going to let this sit out for probably 10 minutes to cool down a bit. Once you do that, it's time to cut into this, see what it tastes like. I'm pretty pleasantly surprised by the creaminess level. I thought it was going to be a little bit under, but I'm pretty content with those layers. It's hot. Everything is heated beautifully. Really smells of tuna, though. I see why people add other ingredients into this, like cheddar cheese and that kind of stuff. But this is the traditional 40s version. If you like the taste of tuna, you're absolutely going to love this because it is very tuna forwards. I think if I was going to make it again, I would definitely add more cheese, maybe some cream cheese or maybe a different cream mixture to cut through a bit. But it is tuna heavy, and if you like that, then this is absolutely the dish for you.